My name is Michael Nicholas. I'm the Chief Strategy Officer for Isobar North America. There's a lot of people making a lot of noise because they're coming down after almost 2 days of hacking together or programming an NFC application for our Isobar Create 48 hackathon. NFC. Sometimes people call it RFID. There's different elements of it, but NFC is near field communications. It's this really great technology that allows two things to, when they come in contact or come in close contact, to move data back and forth a little bit. Sometimes when you see, like, you can tap your credit card on the cab, in the back of the cab instead of swiping it, that's NFC. Sometimes you used to see things like the mobile speed pass, you touch the gas pump, that's NFC. And we really think, there's a lot of talk about, and at FutureM there's been a lot of talk about the future of mobile and m-commerce, a lot of discussion about it, and a lot of slides up on the screen. We felt like, let's try and do something with it. Our friends at Google, who are big supporters of NFC, which is in their phones now, their new Nexus S, and Nokia, which is in their newest Migo phone, which hasn't even been released yet, but they brought them here for us to just have at it and use their SDKs and said, can we build some awesome applications for consumers to really do things they've never been able to do before. Now we're scanning QR codes, we're doing all these things that are very unnatural. It'd be much nicer if I could if I wanted to give you my information, just go up and tap your phone and then you have it. Or if I wanted to take my Bluetooth headset, just tap it and then put it on my ear instead of pairing it. All of those things we think would be really interesting. And a lot of people here are taking it one step further, like what would happen if I went into a bar and tapped my phone on the bar? How would I get a beer faster? There's a lot of that going on here. So NFC is just a protocol, and it's a hardware and software protocol that's now part of the Android stack, as they call it, right? The Android operating system. It's also part of the Migo operating system. It probably will also be part of iOS, but Android and Google are the first ones to push it out. So it's part of the software, but you have to have a piece of hardware in there, so you can't just upgrade the software and get it. But the newer phones that are coming out now will all have it, and that will enable us to make contactless payments or contactless transactions. And basically, it turns your phone into everything from your boarding pass on the airplane, your Charlie card to get on the red line, from that to paying for things at the supermarket, to how do you pay for your gas, everything. And that's what we think is really interesting about it. Your phone becomes this new thing that not only does all those things, but then actually has the data from all those things combined. Like, you have the data from all your gas pump stuff, and you have the data from maybe traveling. You put those things together, you start to see, like, wow, I'm using this much energy, or I'm going this far. My average speed for this year was 12 miles an hour. You start to see all kinds of interesting things. I think for us, FutureM was like the best place to hold this because this is all about the future of marketing. We believe NFC is a huge part about the future of marketing. It's going to be huge. It's going to power the mobile commerce, and that's what we think is really going to push forward. Our friends at Google, at Nokia, Microsoft, they all kind of agree. They're all trying to push this standard forward so mobile commerce can really happen in a real way, and that will change marketing as we know it and really be the future of what's going forward. And everybody knows Boston has a lot of universities and probably some of the smartest people. We do a lot of partnerships with MIT. We're sponsor the lab there. Really smart people, but then you start to see things like, in theory, Facebook was invented here and then left. Lots of things are invented here. But I think that we have the ability here to not just invent, but create and grow. And I think that's really the power of kind of the good marketing we have here, plus the exceptional technology, is that. And that's the power of Boston and kind of where it can go with it. When you have really progressive thinking and really innovative thinking, you need to have a city that's just as progressive. And I think in some ways, Boston is intellectually progressive and intellectually innovative, but actually socially less so. And I think those two things start to rub against each other. I think you sort of have the issues with young people wanting to try new things, but not necessarily, which is supported academically and in your brain, but it might not be necessarily supported out in the streets in certain ways. So I think that's kind of the issue is we want to be innovative, we want to be leading intellectually and innovatively, but we need to make sure that we're also progressing socially in a way that makes it a very rounded lifestyle in that way.